Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for my weekly progress video on my bits and bobs. As I've said before, this gives me incentive to keep going faster on it than I might have otherwise, and I'm pleased with that because we are really close to getting all the big elements down on the background. This week I get to finish the last one. The Paisley block is finished and I'm really pleased with how that turned out. As you can see, I just left the background as is. I got the 4-patch heart down, appliqued it down, and then I did a quilting around the heart, and I even did one single tack stitch in the center of the heart just for pulling in, giving it a bit more of a 3D. I'm really happy how that turned out. See that all there? Yes. And then this week is the last element, big element that needs to get put down, and that's this, what I call a lace card. You know, when you go in, you buy lace and it's wrapped around a card. That's what this is. I don't know if that's what it looks like, but that was my intention. So I'm gonna stitch it down, and then I'm gonna at some point have to lay out my quilt full and start adding things and more things, smaller things, filler things, and get an overall vision of the whole quilt before I start adding the things. You know what I mean? Not just so that I'm not in a concentrated corner or anything. Now, whether I get to put that on camera or not, I'm not really 100% sure. My desk there's be a lot to have to move, and I'd have to hold the camera by hand, but I'm sure at some point that's something I'll do to show you what I'm accomplishing. But I don't think the playing of it's adding pieces, figuring out what where, is something I'll probably do. I don't really have the ability to do that on camera. All right, okay, get stitching on that and come back when I have progress. I'm making good progress on the lace card. I've got it totally appliqued down. I do intend to go over the word lace with a secondary stitch. And when I saw the bow, it was just there. It wasn't, all these other blocks have dimension to it, and this bow was just there. You can see it there on that side. So I was looking at it and deciding what I could do. And what I decided to do, you can see that the bow, the drawing of the bow has a little slight dark line along the edge, some of the ribbons. And it gives me the impression of sketching, actually. So what I decided to do is not using embroidery floss, because even a single strand of embroidery floss has a fuzziness that I wasn't wanting. But I used a sewing thread, and I doubled it up, and I did a back stitch with it. You can see on this side, wherever the dark thread was, I've stitched back stitch, and that really is bringing out the bow. So I'm going to continue that over to this side, but also where there's no dark and there's just pink for the bow, for the ribbons, I'm going to also stitch that in pink just to complete the 3D of it. But yeah, so that's how I'm working at the top of the card. I did not expect that. These things always happen as I stitch along, and then suddenly I think of things. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting addition. So that's where I am so far. I'll be back with more. I got it complete, the lace block. You can see the bow, some 3D with all the little bit of stitching I did. Really brought that bow out. It's not just a flat nothing anymore. And I got the lace re-stitched as well. So that's it for the big pieces of this quilt. And next I'm going to start adding smaller filler pieces and deciding about those and making some more. It's been 6 months since I took a video of the whole thing. First day of spring. So first day of summer is coming up in a couple days. It's time for another full video, just in time to as the whole thing is finished as far as the large pieces go. No, that's a big accomplishment. I'm really pleased with that. This quilt is not so far away from being completely finished. It's been a year and a half, and loved every minute of it, and looking forward to more. Thanks for joining me this week. I'll be posting for sure a 6-month video, and I'll include a full video in the next week's video as well. I'm not exactly sure what next week is going to entail. It'll have to do with filler pieces, but all right. Thanks for joining me, and have a really good week, and happy stitching.